Hi, it's Melissa here and welcome back to my channel. Today I've got the latest sketch over at Let's Get Sketchy, and that is the sketch by Bryn Chevier, and I love it because it features lots of big pieces of paper. I'm using my Kelly kit, which is a kit that I've put together with some goodies that Kelly from the Gold Coast sent me, and I've added a few things from my stash as well. And if you want to see more of that kit where I go through what's in it, you can look on my channel and you'll see a video there where I walk through the kit. So for this one I wanted to scrap Sam again because I'm aware that he hasn't had many pages lately, and I had been making an album about his trip to Hobbiton, which is the movie set for The Hobbit, and I'd made a mini album which you'll see later on, and I had a lot of photos left over, and so I chose two of them that I thought would work really well with the sketch because I needed to cut them down from 4x6 into smaller photos. And they are two photos where he's getting involved in the set, so it's quite interactive. It's on a farm, and the talent scouts or the movie scouts went out in Matamata in the North Island of New Zealand, and they found this farm that was perfect for what they needed for Hobbiton, and they constructed all the hobbit holes and the green dragon and whatever else is in the book. They constructed it there, and you can go and have a tour, and so that's what him and my sister-in-law did. So this kit mostly features the Oh Happy Life collection by Amy Tangerine, which is is her newest collection, and Kelly was very, very generous because she got the paper pad and had two pieces of everything, and so she sent me pretty much all the papers in the collection. Now that leaf paper is probably one of my favourite papers in the whole kit, which really surprises me because it's green. I'm not a big green fan, but I think it works really well with this outdoorsy kind of page. So I've picked some papers I think go really well. Sam specifically told me he wanted arrows on this page, so I've got the arrow paper. I love that happy paper because this was a dream come true for Sam to go Hobbiton. And I've also got the Dear Lizzie 6x6 paper pad, and it's from the Fine and Dandy collection, which I think is a couple of collections ago. And Kelly also gave me the ephemera pack, so what I did was I went through the pad and just picked some colours that I thought worked really well with this Oh Happy Life collection. So at this point I thought I was going to use the arrows as my background, but they're too busy, and you'll see that as I start to layer on top. And I wanted to have more than just my normal white border on my photos, so I am using some of that leaf paper, and I can't at this stage remember what other paper I used to back my smaller photo, but you'll see it soon. So I'm just trimming it down. I just want a peek of it around the edge. I don't want it to be too much of a photo mat. And so here I'm just looking at how it will look with the arrow paper, and to me it just looks too busy. So I love that happy paper. I love the colours in it. I think it's pretty much all the colours in the collection represented just there. And that stripe is a piece of the Dear Lizzie, and so is that green piece to the left. So this is the piece of paper with all the border strips on it, and I stared at it for quite a long time trying to decide which ones to use. This one I'm trimming down. It's the piece I was talking about before from Dear Lizzie, and I think the greens work really well. So the sketch showed a large, well, it looks like a doily. I mean, it's a circular element, and I wanted to use one of these coloured doilies. I've wanted coloured doilies for a long time, quite hard to get here in New Zealand, and I think they're from Freckled Fawn, so they'll be acid free and everything. And so I'm not going to shy away from using a doily on a boy page. I think it breaks up the square or straight lines on these pieces of paper, rectangles. And as you can see in the sketch, it does show a large circular element. Now that doesn't mean you have to stick to that, you can if you want, but I just wanted to represent a piece of it on that right corner. So at this point I didn't really want to pull everything up and start again. I was happy with the placement, so I just lifted bits and pieces of paper and stuck them down with double-sided tape, and just working out where I want things to go. So when I have a sketch like this, I really like the positions of the layers, so I've pretty much just left them where they are on the sketch. Sometimes I will, if a sketch is large, this is quite a large sketch, it shows a lot of coverage on the 12 by 12, and if that isn't going to suit me, I'll make the layers a lot smaller and bring everything together. So here I'm adhering that doily and just checking that the positioning is going to be right. And the sketch showed a piece of pattern paper at the top above that circular element. So once again I thought of using the arrows, but they're too busy. And then because Sam wanted arrows, I cut this border strip off, and you'll see what I do with it in a while. And the cut wasn't that clean, so I just had to trim it up with my scissors. So that's it there, and loving it so far. And then I decided that the arrows at the top would be too busy, so I've gone for another piece of my favourite paper with the leaves and just trimming a small piece to go at the top. So that there is way too big, but I've cut it down and then I'm adhering it. So now I'm thinking about these arrows. The sketch showed like a border strip or a strip that goes straight across. Before I do that, I'm getting this, I guess it's foam, fun foam, and I had hesitated getting on the bandwagon with the foam for a long time, and I spoke to my friends who I meet every couple of weeks, because my biggest concern was that whether it was acid free or not. And then I decided that a lot of the doilies I use, the tissue paper, none of that's acid free. As long as my photos have got that cardstock border on them, or they're matted on white cardstock, the non-acid free is not going to touch my photo. So I just think it's a great way to save money. It provides great dimension because you get that full coverage at the back, and it's not too high off the page, if you get what I mean. I find that some of the dimensional adhesive, like this, the American Craftsman's in particular, are really high, and you need to use a lot of them. And I found that the tape that you can buy is really, really expensive. So far I'm loving it. I've used one full sheet. It's really cheap. I just got it at Warehouse Stationery. So these chipboard, the Today chipboard, that came from a clip kit, my last clip kit. I had it left over, and that's from Dear Lizzie's latest collection, Saturdays. And so I just love how it works with this kit as well. So I had a few titles left, and I just said to Sam, which one do you like? And he liked the word today, so that's what I'm going with. And I like the pop of black against all the colours. Now the sketch showed the title on the bottom left of the photo, but I like how it looks there on that doily, and because it's big, I think it really creates an impact. So now I'm tucking my bits of ephemera for embellishment. I didn't use everything that I showed you at the beginning, but I think I used most of the pieces. I think that says today was the best. And these little chipboard hearts are from the same Dear Lizzie chipboard sheet. These are some other Dear Lizzie gold stickers that Kelly got me. They've got numbers, hearts and circles. And that play wood veneer is from a pack of freckled fawn that she got me. And I love them. I love the cursive style. So here I'm just adhering the second arrow. And at this point I realise I haven't glued anything down. I've just gone ahead with the layout. I've never ever had this happen to me before. I've totally forgotten to get my layers down. But luckily I'm just going to use a bit of Tombow and adhere the bits that need to be. And you know I love my Tombow. So that's a ticket from the ephemera pack, and it says Admit 1, which I thought was perfect, and the colours were perfect to go with this layout. So I'm just tucking it behind. The sketch didn't show much embellishment, so when it's like that, it's really up to you as to what you want to do. You could stay true to the sketch and not add much and just have your paper layers as your embellishment, or you can do what I'm doing and go along with your normal style, and for me it's to probably add quite a lot. So there I'm adding those chipboard hearts, and I find with chipboard, whether it's thickers or pieces, I will always add glue because I don't want to come back and find them in my albums years later all sitting on the bottom of the page protector. So my final step before adding my journaling was to add some splatters. I'm just using black Heidi Swap Colour Shine. And then I thought I was done with embellishing, but then I did want to add some of these, so I just looked at them, but I will come back. In the kit as well, Kelly sent me Pretty Little Studio, they're like wood grain stars, so I just used, I think, 6 of them. So in each little cluster area, I think I added 2. And I'm trying not to overthink the position. So now that ink is dried, or mist is dried, adding my journaling. So I've just put more details about the trip that he went on. It was with my husband's mum, so with Grandma. She took him up to Auckland for his 9th birthday for the weekend, and on the Sunday he went down to Hobbiton with his auntie. So now I'm getting the number 9 because it was for his 9th birthday, and then I've decided to add some of these circles because I need another pop of gold on this page. Now I've also made a mini album, which you can see here, with my last clip kit. I still need to finish the journaling, but I will have a video of that when it's complete. And I was just looking in there just to get the date, and I'm just adding that with my ink. So the last thing I do is add some corners. I've been really into this with I think almost all of my layouts for Let's Get Sketchy, I've got these corners happening. And all I'll say is that the other thing I made with the leftover photos was a pocket page, double-sided pocket page, and so if you keep an eye on my Instagram, I will share it there, and you'll also see it when I do a share of everything that I have made with this kit, which I'm expecting will be probably in December or January. So thank you so much for watching. There's a final shot of my layout coming up.